right. Hello, everybody. We had, I think, 2 weeks in between. So today is Wednesday. Let's see, Wisdom on Wednesday webinar. So, hi, Michelle. Thanks for being here. What did I say? Wisdom on Wednesday's webinar. I can never get that out. It's so crazy. Anyhow, thanks for being here, y'all. So there's so many things that that are on my mind that I could talk about and bring, change narratives with, begin to change narratives. Hi. And there are many different topics that people send in or they ask questions. And today I decided to go with this one about graduation because, this is my daughter's last week of school. My son ended last week. Kids are ending, all of the things. And so I wanted to talk about graduation and that today. So here we are. The current narrative. So kids are graduating, whether they're going, they're promoting from sixth grade. For us, sixth grade is elementary school. So whether they're going from elementary school into middle into high into college, out of college into the work world, each one of those signifies a huge amount of change. And remember, change produces feelings, and those feelings are called grief. Hi, Melissa. Thanks for being here. So change produces feelings, and the feelings are called grief. Okay, they can be conflicting. Those emotions can be conflicting, meaning like maybe we're a little excited, but also terrified. Maybe we're, eager for a change, but also nervous and scared, afraid. We can have both, and both make complete sense. Hi. Thank you for being here. Okay, so the current narratives, a lot of times what I hear when kids are promoting from one school or grade up to the next, or out of college into the working world, a lot of times people say, well, this is what you studied for, this is what you trained for. They just want to focus on that next, either the positive or that next thing. This is what you worked so hard for. Oh, you were made for this. Oh, you're going to be great. You're going to be fine. Oh, you'll find your way. And there's this sort of like dismissive thing that happens where people ignore some of the sad or scary parts of the change and just focus on that new one and give a lot of false promises too. Oh, you'll be great. How do we actually know that? What if they suffer? What if they can't find a friend? What if they get lost on the campus? We don't know what it's going to be. And so those constant positive messages can be little breaks of trust, because people know that we can't read the future. I mean, no matter what we say, they know we can't read the future. So telling them that the next thing is just bound to be amazing because you've studied for this and you've prepared for this and everyone does it and it's normal and it's natural, that's not going to help someone feel more confident. It's just not. In fact, could be minimizing. So we have to do a few things. So we have to avoid some myths, some pieces of misinformation, things that don't work. Like, well, just don't think about it. You're going to be great. Or don't feel bad. You're going to be great. Well, they're already feeling that. Those feelings that are kind of scary or not feeling good for some reason are already in there. So if we tell them don't feel it, they can start to just hide that because you said not to have it. Hi, Tam. Thanks for being here. So if we tell them don't feel it, but they already are, we're already putting them into conflict with what's naturally bubbling up for them. So we're adding to the grief. So we don't want to tell them not to feel it because they already are. It doesn't matter how kind you say these, by the way, how sing-song your voice is, it's just not going to be helpful. We have to avoid, as parents, being strong for our kids. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. We have to avoid being strong for them or telling them to be strong. You'll be fine. You'll be great. Because that's also dismissing feelings and keeps that other stuff trapped inside. And gosh, I don't know about you, but I just see anxiety. People saying, I have anxiety everywhere I look, every single direction. People are saying, I have anxiety. That means you have a whole lot of energy and emotion about something. And so we have to start working to get sips of that emotion out. Okay. And we can't use these pieces of misinformation or myths, because that will trap the sour stuff, the stuff that doesn't feel good. We want to like hang on and cling on to the good stuff, but that sour stuff we don't want there. You know, we, by using those minimizing statements, don't feel bad, or you're going to be great, those types of things where we're just focusing on the positive, we sort of force people into this grieving alone, having all of those emotions tucked away outside of the view of others, and prevent them from, you know, being honest, first of all, with what's going on inside of themselves, but then they're not really able to fully embrace and make space for that next thing, because there's fear taking up space already. You know, if we imagine our heart to be, or our emotional tank to be a cup, you know, there's only so much space in it. So we've got to work to get some of the sour stuff out, which gives us space to more fully embrace some of the more exciting and positive things, what we want them to look forward to. Remember, replacing one situation with another does not mean all of these feelings over here are going to go away. So for a sixth grader, elementary going into middle school, they're not just suddenly going to feel better because they're in this new situation. So continue to check in when your kids start their next phase, whatever it's going to be, middle school, high school, work, job, whatever. And avoid those things, telling them like it's just going to take time. You'll figure it out. Just give it some time. Well, time by itself doesn't fix anything. Time by itself just moves. So we definitely want to make sure that we're using correct and helpful information while time is moving, so that as they're going to the next new thing, they're not bringing that old unresolved emotion along with them. Okay, we want it to truly be new, and that means we're going to have to acknowledge and identify some of these sad, painful things. So things that could be scary, that can bring up emotional energy when kids are moving into their next phase. It could be the change of the location. You know, are they going away to college? Are you guys moving? Are they going to a different school? Are you not moving, but they're simply going to another school? You know, the change in location can produce a lot of energy. Change in friends, you notice each one of these are going to start with change. A change in friends, you know, even if my daughter went to elementary school, all the grades, and then went to middle school, all the grades. And yes, same kids that had been best friends in elementary school went to middle school together, but they weren't necessarily friends the same way. Very different, actually. And then if, you know, college, maybe they're going away entirely and going to miss their friends. So change to location, change to friends, change to family, you know. If someone's going away to college, they may not have family nearby. They may not have that safety blanket. Even if the family doesn't get along, there still might be fear that there's this change. But if just in case I knew that person was there and now they're not, you know, it could bring a lot of emotional energy up. Changing the food. If a kid's going to college and someone's always cooked for them, what are they going to do? That could feel scary, even if they've got a meal card and they can go to the, I would say, dining hall, because that is Air Force, but you know, that could still feel scary the first time. Once again, they're the kid in the lunchroom with their tray trying to find a place to sit. All of these things can bring a lot of emotional energy. So just be aware that it's change that brings up emotional energy, and that emotional energy is called grief. So we all have hints of grief because we've all experienced change. Let's see. So it's conflicting emotions. Okay. If they're purely just excited and that's what's true inside of them, great. But the conflicting emotions, I want to feel joyful, but I'm also a little scared. I want to feel happy and, excited and eager, but I'm also terrified at the same time. We have to avoid only paying attention to the sweet or positive emotions, because the sour ones are, like we said, taking up space and they need acknowledged too. So all parts of those conflicting emotions are true, they're correct. Okay, they are okay, they're valid. So those, what we might hear or see. Hi, thanks for being here. Now, what we want to learn is what to do on our end as the responsible adults, whether, whatever connection we have. I don't care if you're just a friend or a neighbor, you still have a hand in someone's life. So learn new tools, right? Learn to be the best that you can be showing up to the situation. The first bit is for us to go first. Gosh, I'm really going to miss you. Gosh, I'm sad that you're going to be gone, but I'm also really excited too. So we want to get in the habit of sharing honest emotions about ourselves, both the sweets and the sours. We have to get in the habit of sharing both, because we're teaching people that it's okay to have both. We're teaching them that it's okay to have both in front of us. So we want people to learn that they can be, emotionally honest with us. And that's going to start with us doing it first. And then when someone is talking, one of the children at any age is talking, we have to do avoid advice and avoid fixing. Just listen and affirm. Yeah, that makes sense. I could hear that. So you're feeling kind of scared. You see how if I'm validating what they say, but then I want to clarify the emotion that I might be hearing in the message. Everyone's going to be moving next year. Ah, okay. I hear that. So are you feeling kind of scared? You see how I pause and validate, and then I ask a question. They told me a statement, but I'm looking for the emotion in it. It's very important when you're looking for that emotion. What is the statement trying to tell you? Which emotion is that statement trying to say? It's important that you ask that with a question mark. Oh, okay. I hear that. Are you feeling kind of scared? Oh, I got it. Are you nervous? And making sure that you've got that kind of uptick and a question mark with your emotion. We don't want to tell them what emotion they might have. We want to ask them what emotion they might have. So that's really important. It's so important to acknowledge the sad parts. Hi, Nicole. Thanks for being here. It's so important. You're welcome. You are most welcome. I'm glad you're here for the reminder. Good job for you. So it's very important that we don't just listen to all these statements and then only acknowledge the positive or sweet ones. We want to hear their statements, but then we want to try to sort out what they're feeling sad, scared, anxious, nervous about first. Everyone's moving. Ah, you feeling kind of nervous? You scared? Okay, I hear that. Is it like you're afraid you won't have any friends? Oh, that makes big sense. In fact, it reminds me of something that I experienced, and that was scary. I hear that. So I want to affirm them. I always want to affirm them with a question mark or with an emotion and a question mark about that emotion. So I want to clarify what I'm hearing, and then affirm them again and just simply say thanks for sharing at the end. You don't have to go, well, what about this? Well, what about this person? What about this person? Don't let it start to be an inquiry. You're just simply trying to clarify the emotion from their statements, but not all the possible plans and fixes. You see, I got chaotic because that is chaotic. It brings chaos on the inside. We want to avoid that. So acknowledge the sour stuff and then pause. Wait a little bit. I really appreciate you sharing that. That is scary stuff. Makes perfect sense. And pause. Don't be quick to rush through. Maybe ask something simple and gentle. Is there anything more? Is that everything? And then when they say yes, you pause and just hold on a little bit. And then I might say, all that stuff makes great sense. I'm wondering, is there also at the same time something you might be looking forward to? So I want to get in this habit of letting them, and I want you to practice it too, get in this habit of letting them share the sad and let that feel heard in every direction, validated, not rushed through, acknowledged, and then pause. And it's okay to end on a sweet note, but don't you rush to that sweet note. Because remember, if their emotional tank is only this size, but this much of it is filled with painful, sad emotion. It's on Do Not Disturb, but a call came through. So I apologize, y'all. But if this is their emotional tank and it's this much full with sad, painful, scary stuff, well, where do you think their attention's going to go? Focusing on this little bit of sweet is not going to help them overcome this. Being able to talk about it without judgment, without minimization, without advice, without fixing, That's how this stuff starts to come out, the sour stuff, the scary, painful stuff. Don't rush through these things, and be willing to come back to the conversation. Hey, I know you talked about this the other day. You were feeling pretty nervous. I was wondering if you've had any changes or if you have any questions, something I could be helpful with. All right. And hear them. Don't just start jumping into your advice. Don't do it. Avoid that. Okay. It's their time to be heard. All of us as grievers, remember, grief is just the emotional energy that bubbles up from change. It's those conflicting feelings that we have, that is brought about by change. Every single one of us is a griever at some point. Every single one of us needs to be heard with dignity and respect. So make sure you're doing that for your kids, whether they're 4, 14, 24. Your friends who are 44 or 84. Love them, all right? Hear them. I love you. Thank you for being here. You have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments or DM me and I will get back with you on that. All the contact information is in my bio. I hope to see you next week. And any topic, any wow comments or topics that you'd like to see, let me know what they are. All right. I love y'all. You're welcome, Tam. Thanks for being here, everybody. Bye-bye.